Mike Dell's World, number 140 for October 23rd, 2009.
As I ramble around on the outskirts of town, visions from the past fill my mind. I remember the day that you went away, each and every tear that I cried. Autumn chill cuts the air, leaves blow through the sky. I feel your spirit everywhere, I can hear you sigh. Restless wind. Now I look back on the past, time has gone by so fast since those trips to the hills where you lived. When I was young, you were always so strong, you seemed to have the world on a string. Autumn chill cuts the air, leaves blow through the sky. I feel your spirit everywhere, I can hear you sigh. Restless wind. Roots run deep, you ran faster than the wind. Roots run deep, I still feel all the love you send. Chill cuts the air, leaves blow through the sky. I feel your spirit everywhere, I can hear you sigh. Restless wind. My home, but I don't feel alone like I did when I left for the night. Cause you're right here with me, and now I can see the spirit and the soul never die. Autumn chill cuts the air, leaves blow through the sky. I feel your spirit everywhere, I can hear you sigh. Restless wind.
And that's the String Cheese Incident with a song called Restless Wind. Restless Wind. Anyway. Let's see. What's been going on for the last week or so? Well, Kathy and I went out to Las Vegas for Blog World and New Media Expo. So that's what I'll talk about a bit, since that was a lot of fun. This was the first time I had went to Vegas for business purposes since I got out of the Air Force. But anyway, I went out there as a part of the Blueberry team, and we had a booth there on the floor at Blog World New Media Expo at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and that was a lot of fun. Got to talk to a lot of people about Blueberry and its services and all that good stuff. As you know, Mike Dell's World is part of the Blueberry network. Well, it's not really a network. Blueberry podcast community, but everybody calls it a network. And it is sort of. Call it what you want. But anyway, I had a great time out there. Got to meet the rest of the Raw Voice Blueberry team. We flew in Thursday night, Kathy and I, and got to the hotel around, 9:30 or so, and got checked in, and then went down to the Voodoo Lounge. I think that's what it was called. Anyways, one of the lounges there just off the casino at the Las Vegas Hilton, and we met Trucker Tom and let's see, John Martin, my partner on the ham radio class. He was there. Let's see, Brian Yankee, Todd Cochran. Don't remember who else was there in particular, because it got pretty drunk out pretty quick, to be honest with you. Had a good time, though. And like I said, got to just hang out and depressurize from the airplane flight. And, well, I don't know, we went up about midnight to go to bed, or maybe it was 1 o'clock. It's probably like 1 o'clock Vegas time to go to bed there. And, of course, I had to get up early to head over to the convention center because I was working the booth with the Blueberry crew. And I don't know, walked over there, and boy, that's a walk. Last year it wasn't quite as bad because it was in the North Hall of the convention center. Well, this year Blog World was in the South Hall of the convention center, and the Las Vegas Hilton is north of the convention center. So it was probably about a 1.5 mile walk, most of it indoors. But anyway, made it over there and met up with Todd and got my badge and went into the booth, and that was all pretty good stuff. All day on Friday we were giving out T-shirts, and we were giving out passes to the Blueberry Party, which is over at the Peppermill Lounge, right up on the strip there. I don't know, I guess it's next to the Riviera, across from where the Stardust used to be. But it's a bar, restaurant, kind of an ultra lounge sort of feel there in the room we were in. Had these sunken couches with tables, and they had a gas fireplace that was full of water. That was kind of weird. So you had fire coming up through the water, and of course we had a couple of showgirls there, and they were taking pictures with people, and a whole bunch of people showed up over there for drinks and food and networking and fun. By the way, if you notice my voice sounds a little funny, I'm fighting off a little bit of airplane crud. That's what I figure it is so far anyway. It just feels like a little bit of airplane crud. Of course, I had a sore throat when I was in Vegas, but usually that happens anyway because of the dry air. But I kept well hydrated, both with water during the day and adult beverages at night, along with a lot of vitamin C and Halls. And so that all went away when I got back to Michigan, but now I'm starting to get the sniffles, and my voice still isn't 100%, but yeah, it's all right. But I met a lot of cool people there, both at the booth and at various parties and meetups throughout the weekend. Got to hang out with Trucker Tom quite a bit. And, what else? Let's see, met Mike James and his wife over at thinksmedia.com, where you can find him. Of course, I talk about him all the time, and so I think you probably know who he is. But anyway, got to meet him and his wife, and met Jeffrey Powers from geekazine.com. Of course, he hung around quite a bit. And like I said, met all of the Raw Voice team. It's the first time I've met all of them at one time. Of course, we had our booth babe, Jenny, there. She actually dyed her hair blue, or part of her hair blue, for the thing. So she was there attracting people to come into our booth. And of course Kathy, can't remember her last name, but she's a writer that works with Blueberry, writing copy for websites and whatnot. She was there. And Brian, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think Yankee or something, from Colorado. Him and his fiance were there. Of course, Todd Cochran and his mom Sherry Cochran were both there. Let's see, what's his name? Well, of course, Angelo. Now, that isn't who I wasn't remembering. Yeah, Angelo Mondato, he was there from Columbus. Our CIO, Chief Information Officer for Blueberry and Raw Voice. And, of course, Jeff from New York was there. Barry from Coopersville. I got to be careful. Sorry, Barry, if you're listening, but I got to tell this story. Barry lives in Coopersville, Michigan. It's a town or a suburb kind of halfway between Grand Rapids and Muskegon, maybe a little closer to Grand Rapids, but it's on I-96 between Grand Rapids and Muskegon, Michigan. And they're semi-famous, at least along I-96, for having a huge garbage dump near the road. So they have the nickname for people that don't live around there, that just have to drive through there periodically. We call it Poopersville. So anyway, so I have to be careful when I say where Barry's from, because I always want to say Poopersville instead of Coopersville. But if you've ever been on I-96 and heading towards Muskegon, you'll understand completely, because there's about a mile stretch there where you want to turn the air conditioning off and roll the windows up and everything. It's gets pretty rank at certain times of the year, but I'm sure the whole area is not that way. But anyway, Barry was out there, and like I said, met up with a whole bunch of bloggers that were interested in podcasting. As others have commented, it was definitely more of a blogger convention than a podcasting convention. Of course, we at Blueberry had our theme for this year was Blog Louder. And isn't that the truth? I got to hit the cough button here. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Feeling better. But anyway, see, Friday night, of course, went to the Blueberry party. I think I said about that. And let's see, the showgirls were there. There was a gal going around table to table doing magic tricks, and she was really good. She used to work at Circus back when they employed magicians and whatnot to keep the kids entertained. Of course, I think they've given up on that now, but she did really well. Did some card tricks and a lot of close-in magic, and it was very good. And we had Little Elvis, and I'm sure if you go to my Facebook, facebook.com/mgdell, and in my profile somewhere I've got links to pictures that Kathy put up of all this stuff. But anyway, Friday night was, like I said, it was a great party. We left there about quarter after midnight, maybe 12:30. Rumor has it the party went on until about 1:15 officially, and then once it was officially over, the bar opened up to the general public that we were in, and a lot of people hung around after that. Brian Ibbett from Coverville was rumored to be there still at 4 in the morning. So anyway, it was a great time, and like I said, if you get a chance next year to come to Blog World New Media Expo or whatever they call it, be sure to check out the Blueberry Party. We seem to have the best parties, and I went to one back. I've been to all of them for the last 3 years, but I got to say this one was the best. And it was, it wasn't like, crazy screaming, yelling party with loud music and all that. It was, had the music kind of toned down and had little entertainment going on, and a lot of people just sort of mingling around the room. And I guess that's the way it's supposed to be. That's how I kind of think of these expos anyway is more of a social event than a business event. And speaking of business, see, now I wanted to go to Vegas, but the old way for business to meet is either over the phone or in person. A new, better way is GoToMeeting. You can meet clients and colleagues online with GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is like meeting in person, but less time-consuming and less expensive. You know, like I had to take that airplane trip all day, and it cost me a fair amount of money to get out to Las Vegas. Well, with GoToMeeting, you don't have to. Start your meeting with just one click. Everyone can see your computer desktop, and you can see their computer screen. So they can follow along as you move from page to page. Use GoToMeeting to host sales presentations, product demos, or training sessions. Even collaborate on documents by sharing your screens. My listeners can try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. That's 1 month of unlimited online meetings for free. For this special offer, you must visit www.gotomeeting.com/techpodcast. That's gotomeeting.com/techpodcasts, plural, for a free trial. And like I said, I wanted to go to Vegas, but, not always do you want to do that stuff. So go check it out. And, 30 days free, and it's really easy to install. And when you're done with the free trial, it's really easy to get rid of. It doesn't hang around and try to get you to keep extra junk on your computer. So, what do you got to lose? Go check it out. Let's go to meeting.com/techpodcasts. Okay, well, that advertisement is over. What do I got to say? Well, let me regroup my thoughts here, and I'm going to play a local Traverse City artist here. His name's Vic Tripp, and this really, it's kind of funny, but it's not aimed at you, the listener. It's just funny.
Some folks, they can be pretty mean. In fact, the things they do are downright obscene. Like at Christmas time when they push you around the store. You just look at them as if you want some more. Just tell them, bite me, go on and bite me. Bite me, go on and bite me. You want a piece of me? Well, you got the Elmo dog, then go on and bite me. Just bite me, just freaking bite me. You're working every day, and it's such a drag. You're working next to some old ugly hag. Your boss, he's on your ass, and he's such a nag. You just wanna flip him off and call him skag. Just say, hey boss, bite me. Go on and bite me. Bite me. Go on and bite me. You want a piece of me? Well, this job sucks. Go on and fire me. Just bite me. Go on and bite me. When I was married, I thought life would be grand. But like a twist of fate, it was just like the devil's hand. She started throwing everything that she could grab. I divorced her, now there's rumors I'm a violent man. But it ain't true. Hey ex, go on and bite me. Go on and bite me. Just bite me. Go on and bite me. You want a piece of me? I pay child support. Go on and bite me. said, "Hey, Judge, what about my money?" I was laughing. He said, "8 years, son. Do you think it's funny?" I said, "Judge, guess what? Bite me. Go on and bite me. Bite me. Go on and bite me. You want a piece of me? You're giving me 8 years. Go on and bite me. Cite me for contempt. Go on and bite me."
Okay, let's make sure I got that. There, I got my mic turned back on, right? Anyway, that was a local Traverse City guy there, Vic Tripp, in the Vic Tripp band with Bite Me, but that wasn't aimed at any of you guys. So. I just thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, Saturday, got up early when I was in Vegas there at Blog World Expo. And went to the booth and hung out there. A couple of our one of our Blueberry team members, Rob Blatt, and if you want to go check his stuff out, that's blattcave.com. Anyway, he signed up for, I don't know if you ever heard of this small burger chain. I don't know where they're based out of, but they do have a couple of locations in Las Vegas. There's a place called Fat Burger, F-A-T Burger, and they make a damn good hamburger. But they had the Triple X Challenge going on Saturday. They had their Fat Burger Mobile there as a booth at the Blog World Expo on the show floor. And they had this Triple X Challenge, and they made this 1.5 pound burger, 24-ounce hamburger, 3 half-pound patties, and all the fixings on the burger. And they had 2 groups go to eat these burgers and see who could get done first. Well, first up at 10:30 in the morning was Rob Blatt, who's our community advocate. If you, 9 times out of 10, he's the guy behind at Blueberry on Twitter and the Blueberry fan page on Facebook. But anyway, Rob went over there and ate the burger in about 6 minutes or so, and got second place in his heat. And then Tech Podcast Network member and Blueberry, podcaster, Jeff Powers, or Jeffrey Powers from geekazine.com. And anyway, he was in the second heat, and he ate his burger in about, 5-6 minutes, and also got second place. So a couple of big eaters in the community with Raw Voice, Tech Podcast, Blueberry, whatever. But anyway, so Jeff also ate one of those colossal hamburgers, and I was teasing both of them. I said, "Hey, you guys want to go for pizza?" So that was quite the burger, though. 1.5 pounds of hamburger plus all the fixings and the buns, and I mean, these things were monstrous. It was a good time, and there's a video out there somewhere of I think Jeffrey, but I'm not sure. There might be a video of both of them eating their burgers along with 8-10 other people. But that was something else. They were giving out free samples during the show, so come lunchtime on Saturday, all the Blueberry booth staff would scoot over there and get, they would cut them in quarters and give you a sample. But I ended up eating about 3/4 of a normal fat burger. because I went over there 3 times. And later on Saturday, the expo organizers had food brought in and beverages and whatnot, and so we got our fill for lunch there. And then 3 o'clock on Saturday, the show floor closed, which is, well, that's what it was scheduled for. And by about 3:15, we had our booth all broke down, packed up, and carted out to the parking lot, where Barry come and picked it up with the rental van and hauled it over to Kinko's and shipped it out. And everybody was done by 4, maybe 4:15. So that worked out pretty good, and everybody went up to their respective rooms and whatever, except for Todd, who had another conference, or another what do you call it, session to do. He did 2 sessions on Saturday, one in the morning and then one later in the afternoon, the final hour of the conference. And I guess it was well attended. You can go check him over at geeknewscentral.com. So anyway, like I said, it was a great conference. Got to meet a lot of people, and if I met you and didn't mention you, sorry. It was all sort of a blur. And like I said, had a great time. And let's see, went up to, well, Saturday after the conference, went up to the room and got relaxed and whatever, and then met up with John Martin again, and Kathy and I and John went up to this place called the Pepper Mill. No, not the Pepper Mill. That was Friday night. Saturday night, went to this place called the Hofbrau House. I don't know if that's a chain or not, but the one in Vegas is quite big. It's like a giant, well, for lack of a better term, like a giant barn that's all finished off in German motif. And they had a oompa band, with tuba and the whole 9 yards playing. It was really loud, and they had these big long picnic tables for seats. So you didn't get your own little booth or table. You sort of sat community style, and they had really good food and really good beer. A little too good beer, actually, because I had this. I don't know. I guess it was a 1.5 liter mug of this beer that was as black as ink, but it was really good. It wasn't like really thick and nasty like some of the British and Irish and Scottish beers that are that color. This was I wouldn't call it light either, but it was definitely good beer, and it's flown in every so often. The kegs are flown in directly from Germany, so it's not Americanized German beer. It's real German beer, and I had 2 of those 1.5 liter mugs. So needless to say, when I left there, I was feeling all right. And weren't really planning on doing anything else. Got back to the hotel and, went upstairs and thought, well, maybe I'll run down to the casino and see what's going on. And that wasn't it. I was up at the room. See, I told you I drank a lot of beer. I was up at the room, and I got a text message from Angelo saying, hey, they're doing free beer out at the pool. I said, oh, well, heck, I can do free beer. That'll work. So I headed down to the pool level on the 3rd floor of the Hilton and get out there, and there's the whole Blueberry Raw Voice crew sitting around a big table, and we sat around, had a couple of beers, and they closed the pool portion. And they were going to have karaoke in that's now called the Space Quest Casino. It's where the old Star Trek thing was at the Hilton. They put a stage up, basically where the entrance to the Star Trek experience was. And they did karaoke. And again, our superstars, Rob Blatt and Jeff Powers, sang karaoke along with a whole bunch of other people, but a lot of the times it was pretty lousy karaoke. But when Jeff Powers got up there, I mean, that boy can sing. He sang a Queen song, and just because of the drunken stupor I was at that point, I don't really remember what song he sang from Queen, but he'd be a good replacement for Freddie Mercury. His voice is good and everything. And I, be honest with you, sorry Rob, I didn't see your performance. I think at that point it got a little too drunk out, and I headed for the room. And that was Saturday at Blog World Expo, and Kathy and I had Sunday all day to goof around because we were staying an extra day, and I'll tell you about that after I play another song from String Cheese Incident. This one's gonna be a whole lot different than the one we played before. String Cheese Incident, if you don't know who they are, they're a jam band, and they play everything from bluegrass to funk to dance to all kinds of different ones. So here's a little bit different tune off of the same CD, I'm sure. It's called Born on the Wrong Planet, and I think that's the name of the CD also. But anyway, here's String Cheese Incident.
I must admit that I felt that way once or twice before, where I can't think what to say as I'm walking towards the door. For this strange feeling I have, I cannot find a cure. I guess I was just born on the wrong planet. I guess I was just born on the wrong planet. I guess I was just.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network. Find freshly picked podcasts just for you at blueberry.com. That's blueberry.com.
You're listening to Mike on Mike Dell's World, a show about nothing.
Well, today it's about something. It's about the Vegas trip. So, anyway, Saturday night got really drunk out, and Blog World was over, and Kathy and I stayed an extra day. John went home, and he was home by Sunday afternoon, but we weren't. We got a monorail pass and headed to, I think we got off at the Bally's station and walked through Bally's into Paris. And went to the sports bar there at Paris and had a couple of drinks while catching up on what was going on with the football games. Not that I paid a whole lot of attention to it, but Kathy does a little bit. Anyway, I sat there and had a couple of drinks, and decided we were hungry and we were going to walk out to Planet Hollywood, which was right next door to Paris. And we get out in front of Paris, and who do we run into? Our friend Trucker Tom, or Tom Wiles, from truckertompodcast.com. Anyway, so we hung with Tom for a little bit, went into Planet Hollywood and looked around, and we told him, well, we're going to go eat lunch. He had just ate at, I didn't say where he ate at, but he ate somewhere, and, some Japanese restaurant. But anyway, he said he was going to go wander some more. He actually went over to the Luxor and went to that bodies exhibit over there. And if you want to hear about that, his last couple of podcasts, he talks about his trip to Vegas, along with other things. But anyway, we ate our lunch there at Planet Hollywood at the, what is it called? I forget now. But anyway, it's their big coffee shop there with the biggest menu I've ever seen at a coffee shop. I mean, it has everything you can think of, plus a whole lot of stuff you wouldn't think of. But we had our lunch there, and on the way back, we walked through the Flamingo, through Harrah's, stopped in at O'Shea's, had a drink there. Let me hit the cough button again. Okay. Anyway, went through O'Shea's and played a little bit there, not much. A little bit of blackjack. Didn't do worth a crap, so we kept on walking. I forget where we ended up, but got back on the monorail and headed back to the Hilton. Went upstairs. Oh, no, we had checked out and left our baggage there at the Hilton at the bell counter. They have a baggage check there. Anyway, picked up our bags and called a taxi. Now, that was an interesting taxi ride, I gotta say. Some of the cabbies like their job. Some of the cabbies don't like their job. Some of the cabbies don't speak English, and some of them talk continuously. But anyway, so what we were doing is we checked out of the Hilton. We were going to go stay at the Gold Nugget. That was our plan all along for Sunday night. Stay at the Gold Nugget. So we did that. We get in the taxi line there and get in this taxi and load all our bags up. Of course, the guy thinks he's going to the airport. And I said, no, we're going down to Gold Nugget. And he got all indignant about that. Oh, geez, crazy. I was supposed to go to the airport, and I don't get no money because I don't, blah, blah. And I mean, he was just bitch, all the way down. And then, I don't know, gets to an intersection, and some lady's talking on her cell phone and not moving. The lights turns green, and he screams at her, rolls down the windows, yelling out the window at her, park the damn thing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was just the craziest taxi ride. This driver obviously was not happy. We get to the Gold Nugget, and there's some other taxi driver doing something with her car, and there was a big, long limo there, so he had to sit and wait in the street to make the left turn into the Gold Nuggets taxi stand there, and he was just all pissed off. And so there was the one guy. And the guy the night before we took to the Hofbrau house, he was just happy as all get out. Oh, yeah, it's the greatest job in the world. I get to meet all these people and get to drive around here, and it's a lot of fun and make good money, blah, 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 And so, I guess it's all your perspective on anything. But anyway, we got downtown to the Golden Nugget about, I don't know, it was probably 3 p.m, something like that. Went up to the room and got checked in, got settled in, and then decided we were going to go explore some of our favorite places in downtown Las Vegas, there on Fremont Street. And meanwhile, Tom had text messaged me and said, "Hey, when you're ready to eat dinner, give me a call." So anyway, about 4:00, I called him. I said, "Well, about 7, we're gonna go ahead and oh man, phone's ringing. Hang on. Okay, I will have to call her back." Anyway, I called Tom about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I said we were going to the grotto there at Gold Nugget downtown, and wondered if he wanted to come down, and he said he would, so he grabbed a taxi and come on down, and Kathy and I and Tom had a wonderful Italian dinner there at the grotto. I highly recommend it if you're in Las Vegas downtown. The Gold Nugget, it's right off the casino floor, but it's a Italian restaurant called the Grotto, and definitely get the bread and the olive oil to dip it in. It's the greatest thing since bread and olive oil. It was awesome. And so anyway, we had a good time with that. And then Kathy wanted to go back up to the room and get settled in for the night. So Tom and I went for a walk around downtown there and shot the breeze for a little bit. And watched a show on one of the stages there downtown, one of the free stages. And then that was a voicemail coming in if you heard that. But anyway, one of the free stages there was this death-defying axe thing, where this girl on this ribbon, I mean, it was a big, heavy-duty ribbon, but she climbs all the way up to the ceiling of this thing, 40 feet in the air and does all this stuff. It's really kind of cool. Or maybe it was 2 ribbons. But anyway, that was really cool. And then, of course, at the top of the hour, they had the big canopy show that they do. And then down at one end there, they had, I don't remember the guy's name, but him and his wife did this other sort of death-defying act there on America's Got Talent. They were one of the I don't know if they were semifinalists, maybe quarterfinalists, but anyway, they did all this kind of bizarre stuff with fire and chainsaws and all kinds of stuff, and that was playing there on one of the free stages downtown, so that was kind of fun. But anyway, got about 11 o'clock or so, I parted ways with Tom, so he was going to go do some picture taking and videotaping a little further down Fremont Street at the Neon Museum and Neonopolis, and just do some general people watching. And we had to be up at 4 to be on the cab at 4:30 to get to the airport by 5 for our 6:30 takeoff. So So I had to go up and go to bed, and that's what I did. So anyway, flew home on Monday. Everything was uneventful. Flew into Grand Rapids and had to drive 3 hours, but we were back here by 9 o'clock and picked the dog up from my dad's place, and all was well. It was definitely a well worth it trip. So I want to play one more song here before I go, and I'm not going to talk too much after the song, but this is the Ragbirds. The song was called Good. And the Ragbirds are, I don't know if they're exactly local, but they play up here a lot. Half the band is from Buffalo, New York, so I kind of guess they may be based over there, but some of them are were based here in Michigan, and they're kind of a neat band. Like I said, they're here at least 2-3 times a year. Various locations around Traverse City or northern Michigan area. And anyway, check them out. They're definitely different. Also, they're kind of like String Cheese Incident. They some of their stuff's bluegrass, some of it's jazz, some of it's rocky, some of it's kind of a mix of the few. But anyway, this is just a good song called Good.
Something I already ought to know. I chop off my feet every time the roots begin to grow. From the violence of birth, we learn that death is an ageless wife. So fall like a seed to the earth and die for the sake of this new life. Pull back, let your poverty shine. Take off your shoes and have a glass of wine. Listen, tell yourself the truth until you believe it. 'Cause this is as good as this life gets before you leave it. Honesty is following your demons to the place that they reside. Banging pots and pans outside their windows till they let you come inside. Finding that they've tunneled into all you thought was good about yourself. Look them in the eye and tell them goodbye. I wish you well. Your dirty places show. Shout out the things you don't want anyone to know. Listen, tell yourself the truth until you believe it. 'Cause this is as good as this life gets before you leave it. As we get older and older, we grow a taste for bitter and spicy things. Beer, grease, and anger in our bellies, and we feel like kings. When the struggle dies out, we seek distraction in the numb and the vain. When the struggle comes up, we find the energy to fight again. Before you leave. homeless and the hopeless living lives of waste. If you cannot see him, how can you kiss his beautiful face?
I didn't know there was sound effects there at the end, but anyway, that was the Ragbirds, a song called Good. And let me see if I hover over that, it'll tell me what album it's off of. No, it won't. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Mike Dell's World. I have made a decision since Geek of the North got off to such a lousy start. I've rescheduled the official launch. The official launch will be November 4th. So if you want to check that out, that's going to be my tech podcast that has nothing to do with computers or cell phones. Well, might have a little bit to do with computers and cell phones, but it's going to be a tech show about offbeat tech. Mostly automotive, excuse the hiccups there, aviation. All right, that's ridiculous. I just had a big glass of water to get rid of those. Anyway, it's going to be mostly automotive, mechanical, I don't know. I guess it could be anything, military tech, radio tech, broadcasting tech. And, it's just going to be stuff that's not normally covered on your normal tech show. So be sure to check that out. Coming up, I do have a couple of prototype episodes up. Actually, I think only one is an actual prototype episode. And, of course, it didn't turn out ridiculously well. But, yeah, I'll give you an idea. It was mostly aviation as I remember it, but that's how that kind of stuff goes. 1 week there might be more aviation news than automotive or broadcasting or radio hobbies. That was another one. It's going to have some radio hobby stuff, like ham radio, CB radio, scanning, police scanners, aviation radio scanning, marine radio, anything in the radio hobby genre. And whatever other topics we come up that would be tech, but not necessarily something about an iPhone, BlackBerry, MacBook, PC, Windows, and so on and so forth. Although, might have some information about applications to help with some of the non-computer tech, or computer tech. Anyway. You get the idea. Here I am pounding on the desk. Starting to sound like Rush Limbaugh. Well, maybe not. Anyway, wouldn't that be good to have voice like that, though? With my voice half gone, that sounds pretty good. Anyway, we're creeping up on an hour here at 55 and a half minutes so far, so why don't I just get out of here and we'll say catch me later here on Mike Dell's World.